We often imagine that the Buddha and his disciples had these incredibly disciplined, focused minds, able to sit for hours in perfect, unwavering stillness. But the Buddha himself used a powerful term to describe the untrained mind. He called it kapacita, the monkey mind, a mind that leaps from branch to branch, grabbing one thing, letting it go, grabbing another, never staying still for long. He didn't see this restlessness as a personal failure. He saw it as the fundamental starting point for everyone. His entire path of mindfulness was designed as a training system for this naturally distractible, impulsive mind. And today, these ancient techniques are showing profound promise for those whose monkey mind is particularly strong and fast, the mind of someone with ADHD. This leads to a deeply practical question. Can these ancient principles of mindfulness be skillfully adapted to help manage the modern challenges of adult ADHD, especially with focus and impulsivity? Before we dive in, it is essential to be very clear. The practices we'll discuss are supportive, complementary tools. They are not a replacement for a professional diagnosis or a medical treatment plan for ADHD prescribed by a qualified doctor. Please always consult with your healthcare provider. Today, we're going to explore how to work with, not against, the energetic ADHD brain. We'll reframe mindfulness not as a test of perfect focus, but as a compassionate workout for the attentional breaks of the mind, and we'll offer specific, adapted practices to build focus and reduce impulsivity in a way that is realistic and kind. To adapt mindfulness for an ADHD brain, the first and most important step is to completely change our goal. For many, meditation feels like a test of focus, a test they are constantly failing. This is a recipe for frustration. The real practice is something entirely different. The goal is the return, not perfection. Imagine you are at the gym to strengthen your bicep. You pick up a dumbbell. Do you build muscle by just holding the weight up in the air for as long as you can? The strength is built in the repetition, the act of lowering the weight and lifting it again. In mindfulness for ADHD, think of it this way. Your object of focus, your breath, a sound, a sensation, is the dumbbell. The moment your mind wanders off is the dumbbell being lowered. This is natural and expected. The moment you realize your mind has wandered and you gently, without judgment, return your attention to your focus object. That is the bicep curl. That is the representative. That is the exact moment the muscle of your attention gets stronger. From this perspective, a distractible mind is not a problem. It's an opportunity for a great workout. Every time your mind wanders, it's a chance to do another rep, to strengthen the neural circuits of attention. This single reframe changes everything. It turns the experience from one of constant failure into one of constant successful training. 3. ADHD-friendly practices. With that new goal in mind, we can adapt the formal practice to be more accessible. Here are 3 techniques. 1. Mindful micro-hits. Instead of trying to endure a long 30-minute meditation, which can feel impossible, start with 3-minute micro-hits. The goal is consistency, not duration. You can link these micro-hits to existing habits. For example, practice for 3 minutes right after you brush your teeth, or right before you drink your first coffee. Short, frequent sessions are far more effective for the ADHD brain than long, infrequent ones. 2. Dynamic anchoring. The breath can be a very subtle and frankly boring object for a high-energy mind. So, use more engaging, tangible anchors for your attention. You can practice mindful listening, paying attention to the layers of sound around you. You can practice with touch by focusing on the sensation of your feet on the floor as you walk, or the feeling of warm water on your hands as you do the dishes. By using more vivid sensory data, you give the race car brain a more compelling place to rest its attention. 3. The sacred pause. To work with impulsivity, the key is to create a gap between an impulse and an action. The sacred pause is the practice of inserting one single conscious breath into that gap. Before you interrupt someone in a conversation, take one breath. Before you click on that distracting website, one breath. Before you make that impulse purchase, one breath. The goal isn't to stop the impulse, but to see it clearly. That moment of seeing gives you the power of choice. And that is the very definition of training the brain's brakes. So, we learn to do our mental bicep curls and practice with micro hits. How does this translate into our real everyday lives? The benefits go far beyond just improving focus on a task. First, this practice is a powerful tool for emotional regulation. The sacred pause is a direct way to work with the emotional volatility and intense feelings of rejection that can be a painful part of the ADHD experience. By creating a space between a feeling and a reaction, you learn that you don't have to be swept away by every emotional wave. Second, it directly supports executive function. The very act of noticing your mind has wandered and gently returning it is a workout for your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning, organizing, and initiating tasks. It's not a magic cure, but it is a direct way to strengthen the very mental muscles that are most challenged by ADHD. And perhaps most importantly, this approach is a profound antidote to the negative self-talk that can accumulate over a lifetime of feeling different or not good enough. By treating every distraction not as a failure, but as an opportunity to practice, you are fundamentally rewiring your relationship with yourself from one of criticism to one of kindness. To cultivate this crucial quality of self-compassion, here is a simple practice. We can call it acknowledging the effort. At the end of your day, instead of mentally listing all the things you didn't get done, take just 1 minute to do this instead. Bring to mind one single moment from your day where you were mindful. Perhaps it was one sacred pause before you spoke. Perhaps it was one bicep curl where you noticed your mind wandering and brought it back. It doesn't matter how small it was. Acknowledge that moment and silently say to yourself, that was a moment of practice. The effort is what matters. This simple act of recognition celebrates the process, not perfection. It is a powerful way to build self-respect and counter the harsh voice of the inner critic. Mindfulness for the ADHD brain is not about forcing a race car to behave like a bicycle. It is about becoming a skillful, compassionate, and confident driver of a very powerful engine. It's about learning to apply the brakes with kindness, to navigate the turns with awareness, and to appreciate the unique power of your own mind. The Buddha's teaching on the monkey mind shows us that the challenge of a restless mind is a universal part of the human journey. And as we've said, these practices are most effective when used as a support alongside the care and guidance of qualified health professionals. Your energetic, creative, and fast-moving mind is not a deficit. It is your neurotype. The path of mindfulness offers a way to work with its challenges skillfully and to celebrate its undeniable strengths. What is one micro hit of mindfulness you could build into your daily routine? Share your idea in the comments to inspire others. If this exploration was helpful, please like this video and subscribe to the Mindful Compass. Thank you for exploring this with me. May you be patient with your powerful mind. May you be kind to yourself in moments of distraction. And may you find joy in the journey of becoming your own best friend.